I call the member for Holt.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, in Australia, the number of people aged 65 and over is expected to increase from 13.4% of the total population in June 2007 to 25.3% by 2047. That means there will be substantial pressures on our aged care sector. Accordingly, I've been disturbed to hear about the inadequacy of the accreditation standards for aged care facilities from family members who have loved ones residing in a local aged care facility in my electorate. Boyd Fraser, whose 91-year-old mother Valerie Fraser is currently residing at the St Jude's Aged Care Facility in Narre Warren, has raised with me his specific concerns about the failure of accreditation standards for aged care facilities to ensure sufficient mobility and physiotherapy standards for residents. After regular visits, and this pertains to Mr Fraser's mother Valerie, to visit his mother, he became concerned about the lack of exercise and mobility sessions provided to his mother at the St Jude's Aged Care Facility in Narre Warren. Now, Valerie suffers from dementia and arthritis. On a number of occasions, Valerie's been confined or was confined to a room and effectively had no mobility or not enough mobility in exercise sessions such as walking around the facility with her pusher. Valerie also has a caliper fitted to her right leg to enable her to walk properly, and her son Boyd actually fits on her leg each day in every visit to the facility. So he notes, though, after months of lobbying, where staff were required to fit the caliper to Valerie's leg, that would allow her to perform the exercise. He had to, as I said, do it herself. So he had, as a consequence of those concerns, he raised this with the Complaints Resolution Officer with the Aged Care Complaints Scheme. Boyd Fraser was disheartened by the lack of clear standards in relation to the measures that could improve his mother's mobility. Now, Mr Fraser has advised that notwithstanding the laudable goal of optimising resident mobility and dexterity, as per clause 2.14 of the accreditation standards, there is a complete lack of detail and lack of provision for accountability of this particular standard. Now, as I said, Mr Fraser has raised his concerns with the Aged Care Standards and Accreditation Agency, but there is a problem with because of the variability in the health status of aged care residents, which enables, at this point in time, an assessment to be deemed to be too difficult. One of the concerns relating to this is exception reporting. Under these particular standards, aged care providers are not required to provide an ongoing daily status or status of the elderly resident in their care, except if there is an exception, like an incident. And what that has enabled, what has occurred as a consequence of this, is that someone like Valerie, who has a lack of mobility, has been basically imprisoned in her room without being able to exercise, without being able to walk, and because she hasn't had an incident, it's not required to be reported. Now, that is a problem with these standards. They need to be fixed up, and I'm going to be petitioning the government, as I have in the past, to ensure that these standards are fixed up. Thank you.